Hi. I'm sure you've heard of T-Bird. Well, that's me. Um, I work with some really awesome authors and very blessed to be with them. First things first, I want to thank Lorenz for my shirt. I'm glad you see me that way. Um, I really don't have anything to share about myself, but I do have five authors that are getting ready to release their newest books. One is this month, and I have four for January. So I kind of would like to tell you what we did with these books and kind of hopefully make you interested in reading them when they come out. The first one is by R.E. Hargrave. I truly love this woman. Her series is Divine Trilogy. The one that's coming out in the 15th of this month is called Surreal. It's bittersweet because it's the final installment of the story of Jaden and Aaron, also known as Catherine. Jaden, I fell in love with in the first book, and he has never let me down through the whole three books. What I love about Surreal is it ties all the loose ends together. It lets the reader know what their future is. And what I loved most was Catherine truly embraced her Aaron. Aaron is her real name. Catherine is her subname. And it makes sense when you read her past that she has to be in a certain mental status to be the proper sub for Jaden. It is a BDSM theme. Ari is very unique to work with because she's very character driven. The characters tell the story. They will play the scene out for her, and then she goes and researches to make sure that she has everything she needs to create the scene for us readers who are not in the lifestyle. She's very dedicated to her work, very dedicated to her family, and she doesn't rush herself. Surreal was originally supposed to be out last February. That's when she promised me, but after seeing the final product, I'm glad she took her time, and I'm glad she worked extra hard on it. And I'm very proud of her and the series, and I can hardly wait to see what she's got in store for us next. The next book is Ascension, and it is the final book, once again, bittersweet, for the Gates Legacy. It is done by Lorenz Font, and I am not a vampire lover at all. Never got into the Twilight thing, but I am so addicted to this this Gates Legacy. She embeds humans with vampires, and when I first started working with her, I was clueless. I could not figure out why the people in New York were not terrified walking on the same streets with vampires. I was a virgin, vampire virgin. She took my questions and didn't make me feel stupid, thank you. And she also went back and rewrote some of the book to kind of invite vampire virgins to love the story. Elle is one of my gorier, well, I call her Elle. She's one of my gory writers. She really does not hold back on the evil and the gore and raw emotions. I've shed more tears over her characters than I can count. Funny story about Ascension. There was a chapter that she wrote that I really had to renegotiate my contract with her. No, that wasn't going to happen. It was scary. So she went back and rewrote and revamped. And I think anybody, vampire lover or not, would love this trilogy, this Gates Legacy. It's Hunted, Tormented, and now Ascension. Not as bittersweet as the Divine Trilogy because she's not done with the characters. She's done with the 3-book series, but she's not done with the characters. And I have read her next one that's going to be released, and I will not give any hints. But wow, she gets better and better with every book. And I'm really proud of my little evil shrimp. You know, you look at her and she's so sweet and cute and little, and it's like when you read her stuff, you know, don't tick her off. Anyway, I love them both. I love both series. I love both authors. And I really hope that you guys will jump on the first books in both of them now and be ready for the release. Ascension will be released January 8th. So keep track of the Beyond the Valley of the Books blogs, and I'm sure we will have you posted when the release and have release day parties, information and stuff. The next book is by Diane Ranella. Let me back up real quick. How we work is different per each author. With RE, she writes whatever scene comes to her, and then she puts it in a Google Doc, and then I can read it if I want to, or I can wait. Once she has all the scenes, then she goes back and she writes the bridges in between the scenes. And so with her, it's like you may get a scene at the end of the book in the beginning, and you're like, oh, holy, where are we going with this? But she'll fill in the blanks, and it works at the end. With Elle, we do a 5 chapter at a time thing. And she sends me 5 chapters, and I think she purposely tries to make the last part of the 5th chapter a cliffhanger. And then I have to wait for her to write the other 5. Diane Ranella. I met her when I did a review for her first series. Let me stop here and say, I know authors beg you for reviews, and they are important to the authors, but they're also very much a blessing for the readers. I would not be where I'm at today if Lorenz had not seen a review I wrote for Sherry Hayes' book Slave. And that was my very first review I ever wrote. And she saw something in me, and she took me under her wing, and this is where I'm at today. So, thanks, Elle. Okay, Diane Ranella. Her book is called Something to Dream On. And I am telling you, I sobbed like a baby. It is one of the most unique, emotion-filled books. It's about Jensen and Liz. And if you ever want a book about forgiveness, not for the other person, but offering forgiveness so you can move on, this is the book. I'm going to cry again. It is so full of love from the author. And she wrote it at a time that was very emotional for her. She lost someone very special to her. And I'm telling you, she had a writing partner after that, because what comes through these words are magic. And I so want everybody to read this book. She does it in a way that she doesn't have to do sex scenes. She doesn't have to go out of her comfort zone as far as what's going to sell the book. She stays true to herself. Her writing style is very unique because she has to write it all. And then she has to wait a few days and then read it and then decide if she's okay with it, which she probably isn't. So then she'll rewrite some and tweak. And then she'll wait a few more days. And so it may be months before I get anything from her. Once I do get it, I make my notes, and then we usually end up with like a 2 or 3 hour phone conversation where she like interviews me. What did you think of Jensen? What's your impression of him? We did that with Scary Monsters and Creepy Freaks. Another great book. And come to find out, how I took her female character was totally different than what she aimed at. So she went back and she rewrote, and we read it again. Something to Dream On is just beautiful. It's magic. That's about all I can say. It's just magic. And I really encourage everybody to read it. And I'm going to have my 16-year-old daughter read it. She loves Scary Monsters and Creepy Freaks. but there's just a raw passion and old soul wisdom about Diane. The next book is by Mary Elizabeth Palmerin. And Ascension Something to Dream On should be out mid-January. We haven't got a specific date yet. Okay, Mary Elizabeth Palmerin is writing Gwendolyn versus the Band of Barren Hearts. This one is unique because if you've read her Sorrows and Scars and Sorrows saga, which I'm redneck, so I'm probably saying some words that doesn't sound right to you guys, but that's what we do in Redneckville. She's a dark writer, but she wanted to step more into the dark, twisted, mind-twisting element of writing. And this is new for her. And I'm very, very impressed with her, and I'm very proud. Gwen is going to rip your heart out, and Welch is going to make you fall apart and cry. But there is such a strong message in this story that we have got to take care of these kids in foster care. And once again, it's going to make me cry probably. I won't go into the details of the book because really the synopsis will be up and you really got to read this to experience it. But it's not for the faint of heart. But it's real. It's real. This is what happens when society and the system just find a spot for kids and don't care that they're being taken care of. Mary's writing style is, she's my word vomit author. She can write 50,000 words in a weekend and publish a book within 2 weeks. And they're good. They're very good books. She's also my Shakespeare. She loves words, and she loves the poetry of words. And she writes in such a poetic flair that once it starts, it just flows. And that's how come she can get so many chapters done in a weekend. I met her in Houston back in August. Was drawn to her. Just drawn to her. We have been working together since then, and I have loved every minute of it. She's very excitable. She loves what she's doing. Her passion is to educate the readers, to send a message out. And so make sure you check. It should be the first part of January. And it's Gwendolyn versus the Band of Barren Hearts. Okay. Last one I'm going to talk about. Jessica Gibson was introduced to me by Kimmy Flores. And she asked me to work with her, and I was happy to. And we started working on Never Let Me Go, part 1. And it's about Logan and Grace. And it was really funny because she could connect to Logan, but Grace was like an ice cube. We worked really hard to get her connected to Grace. And we got book 1 and 2 done, and we were happy with them. But then we had talk. And somewhere along the way, she let Grace start talking to her. And you're going to be amazed at book 3. It's very personal for Jessie. It's going to give a lot of women a voice that don't have one. People take their lives for granted, and they feel like they're entitled to a family, to a career, to whatever, because they live in America, so they're entitled. But what happens when your body betrays you? And what happens when that dream isn't going to come true? Or you have to work harder for that dream when you can turn on the news and you see that people can have your dream and they mistreat it. I really think she's going to amaze all of you with part 3. It will be out sometime in January. I haven't set a certain date yet. I will tell you that this is an emotional ride for Jessie, and I am so proud of her. And I think she's going to be amazed at how many people she touches with this book. Her writing style is she works, so she writes on the days that she has off. She sends them to me, maybe little sections that's not connected to anything, maybe chapters at a time. It just depends what she has and what she feels like, and it works for me. Those are my 5 authors that are getting ready to release in the next 40 some days. I hope that you give them all a read. Follow them on Facebook, Goodreads, all the social media sites. Keep track of what they're doing. Like I said, with the reviews, I know a lot of people out there feel like they can't write a review. And, even if it's 2 sentences, that's fine. No one's asking you to write the synopsis. Just tell the other readers how you felt when you read the book. Authors do pay attention to that. They pay attention to what's constructive criticism, and they entwine that in their next book. So you are actually being a beta reader for them by doing that. They pay attention to other authors' reviews. I would not be here today if it wasn't for Elle finding my review. I did not know what a beta reader was or a critique partner was. And I'm living a dream by doing this. I have got about 17 authors that I work with. I've got quite a few coming up, getting ready to release in February. So maybe I'll do another video then at the end of January to give you a heads up. But make sure you mark down Surreal by R.E. Hargrave, Ascension, Lorenz Font, Something to Dream On, Diane Ranella, Gwen versus the Band of Barren Hearts by Mary Elizabeth Palmerin, and Never Let Me Go, Part 3 by Jessie Gibson. Jessica Gibson, we call her Jessie. That's it. That's my world. This is my office. Welcome to it. If you have any questions, you can certainly get a hold of us at Beyond the Valley of the Books blog and on the Facebook page. We're just a group of authors trying to support, well, I'm not, I'm just a beta reader, trying to support other indie authors and wanting to give the readers a chance to get a glimpse of their author. You got to remember, they aren't just people behind a computer screen that does nothing but write. They're moms, they're wives. They drive 20 minutes 4 times a day to take kids to and from school. They drive an hour and a half to work in LA traffic. They make homemade pasta in their kitchen for their family. They're just like us. They have feelings, they have responsibilities, they have families. They find every free moment they can to write for you. And show them the appreciation. Buy their books, put a review. Understand they're human. And they're doing the best they can. And I am so proud of all of mine. So anyway, bye.